Joining us in the studio is Riley Sullivan, a reporter here at skynews.com.au. Riley, heartbreaking news this morning with the reports that former One Direction band member Liam Payne has died, reportedly falling off a balcony in Argentina. What more can you tell us?
That's right, absolutely heartbreaking news coming out of Argentina. Liam Payne, who's only 31 years old, reportedly he's fallen from a balcony and died instantly from the fall. You know, details, of course, are coming out as the night continues in Argentina. It's understood that, you know, it's a preliminary investigation. Of course, you have to be really careful in situations like this to speculate about what happened to Liam, but
of course.
Absolutely a tragedy. He has a young son with his former partner, Cheryl Cole. He was recently, reunited with one of his bandmates in Argentina, and there was, a feeling that the bandmates, after a few years of reportedly some tensions, that they were all coming together and that he was sort of turning a corner, because I think he's been quite open in the past about struggling with substance abuse at different times, struggling with his mental health. Absolutely heartbreaking news.
It's just devastating. Only 31 years old, and he had such an incredible career, and I feel like so many of us just really got to know him at such a young age when he rose to fame as a teenager on X Factor. So that is just absolutely heartbreaking. Our thoughts, of course, are with all the One Direction band members. But look, we've got some big news, big royal news here in Australia. We have the long-awaited royal tour. King Charles and Queen Camilla are finally set to arrive in Australia tomorrow to begin their long-awaited royal tour. What can we expect?
Right, well, it's finally here. I feel like we've been talking about it for months and months. This historic tour, it's King Charles and Queen Camilla, their first time visiting Australia as monarchs. And it will be quite a brief tour. It's only 5 days. They've got a very busy schedule. We'll be there tomorrow at the airport in Sydney to welcome them, and then following them through to next Wednesday, after which they'll depart for Samoa for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. The itinerary for King Charles and Queen Camilla is very tight. We know that they will be heading to Canberra on Monday. They will have several engagements with the Prime Minister. They're visiting the National War Memorial. But there will also be some fun things on the itinerary. There's going to be a barbecue with the New South Wales Premier on Sunday. Camilla will be visiting a local library. Of course, reading and literacy is such a passion of hers. And then, of course, on Wednesday, they will be heading out. But before that, there's the classic meet and greet. We know that the public will have an opportunity to meet the King and Queen on Tuesday in Sydney. They will be visiting the Opera House. They'll be doing a fleet review. It's going to be a jam-packed tour, and I can't wait to be there.
Oh, we can't wait to see your reporting, and it's so exciting for us here in Australia. Look, Prince Andrew is reportedly lobbying the King to allow his younger daughter, Princess Eugenie, to take over the Sussexes' old home. Why is Eugenie so keen on moving into Frogmore Cottage?
Yeah, this is a really interesting update. Of course, Frogmore Cottage is Meghan and Harry's old home. They received it as a wedding gift from Queen Elizabeth. They spent several £1 million renovating it, but ultimately they only ended up staying there for about 6 months before they left for America anyway. So it's basically this newly renovated, pretty prime piece of real estate in Windsor Great Park. Reportedly, Charles earlier this year was lobbying Andrew and Fergie to move out of Royal Lodge and into Frogmore. Andrew didn't want it for himself, but it's understood now that he does want to possibly convince Charles to give the home to Eugenie. So at the moment, Eugenie and her family are living in Kensington Palace. They're in Ivy Cottage. It sounds small, but I'm sure it's again, quite a significant royal residence. But it would make sense. I think this report does have weight because we know that Andrew and Fergie are determined to stay put at Royal Lodge in Windsor Great Park. And I think if they have their daughter and their 2 grandchildren from Eugenie's marriage, I think that just sort of solidifies their position in Windsor. So I do think that this is probably part of the strategy of Andrew and Fergie to really put down roots in Windsor Great Park.
Okay. Zara Tindall's husband, Mike, has sat down for a rare interview where he was asked directly about marrying into the royal family and the Sussexes. What did Mike have to say about Meghan's good friend, Omid Scobie?
Yeah, I love Mike Tindall. He's such a popular member of the royal family. Of course, he's the husband of Zara Tindall, Princess Anne's only daughter. They're just great, down-to-earth people. They totally get it. They understand the role. They understand being in the royal family, being discreet, but also being, relatable and being normal people. And I think that this interview, he sat down for the Times. Mike obviously is a retired rugby great. He was part of the English team that won the World Cup back in Australia. I think it was in 2003. Harry was actually at that. Prince Harry was at that final, and so was Zara, and that's when they met. So that's a fun
Very
little link to
cute.
Australia. But yeah, this interview was really funny. It just showed Mike's personality. He was asked directly about marrying into the royal family. I think it was the journalist's way of sort of asking what he thinks about Meghan Markle and Harry's sort of complaints. And he basically said, look, marrying into the royal family was fine. I was nice to them. They were nice to me. It was a very
There you
sort of,
go.
yeah, it was a veiled comment, but you can kind of imply from that a little bit maybe what he's getting at with Meghan and Harry. But the other big thing was he was asked about Omen Scobie. Omen Scobie, of course, is the royal author who is a big sort of supporter of Meghan and Harry, and he has been critical of Mike. He said that Mike was being hypocritical by going on reality shows, but I think the difference is obviously Mike is supportive of the monarchy.
Absolutely. Respectful as well.
Yeah, I know that's kind of the crucial difference. But Mike said, look, he basically said that this is someone that has nothing better to do than bag people, and he doesn't really pay it much mind. So,
Yeah, we love him. Well,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's a good story. Look, Princess Catherine is back to her old self. Was recently spotted cheering on her son Louis at a football game. What was the reaction from other parents?
Yeah, well, again, this is Kate getting back to her normal life. She's a busy mum of 3. Her priority has absolutely always been her children, and it was, really a nice report to hear that she was able to get back to that normalcy and support her kids in their activities. Apparently, all of the Wales kids are sports mad. They love football. We know George is a huge fan, William's a huge fan, and Louis is a huge fan. And reportedly, the parents were there. They confirmed that she was there. But what I love about the UK, and I think about how they treat their royals, is that they're respectful. She's in a public place and she's cheering on her son at a football match. But I think that, the attitude is that, kind of let her live. I think people really give her that space, and I'm sure she appreciates it.
Absolutely. Riley Sullivan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.